The police also won't tell you there's a Fifth Amendment loophole. There was a case once where a citizen started talking to the police, and then he became uncomfortable during the conversation, so he just immediately went silent. But the police kept asking him questions, and then come to find out, the police tried to write it down to interpret that his silence meant that he was somehow guilty of what they were saying. You know, the crazy thing about this is, the police in this case proceeded forward, the district attorney's office proceeded forward, and even the Supreme Court ruled that if you start speaking to the police and then you remain silent, that silence could be used as an implicit admission to what the police are asking you. So what does that mean? That means if you started talking to the police, you better make sure and speak up by saying, "I wish to remain silent, I will not answer any questions," and then stay silent. Because otherwise, if you start talking and then you remain silent, they could try to use your silence against you. I know it sounds like some rule kids made up on a playground, but the Supreme Court literally said, if you want to exercise your right to remain silent, you have to say, "I wish to remain silent." In fact, the U.S. Supreme Court said something strange. They said you don't automatically invoke your right to remain silent by being silent. In fact, there are other cases that are out there where someone was silent for hours. They literally didn't say a word during police interrogation for hours. And then all of a sudden they started to speak up. And because they started to speak up, their statements were now able to be used against them. You want to know why? Because the police said, and the Supreme Court said, they did not say, "I wish to remain silent." So you should always announce your right to remain silent and that you're invoking the Fifth Amendment and shut up.